and there's a little teardrop there, and then you hit the little teardrop, and that puts it on the waterproof mode.
Oh.
And then when you come out of the pool, you just turn your crown once, and it empties out any water that may have gotten in there, and then you're back to regular working.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's the same thing you swipe up if you want to put it on theater mode or do not disturb, or when you want to find your watch.
Okay.
It's right down from the do not disturb, the little teardrop. So
Oh,
that
I
makes
see
it waterproof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
So if
it.
you want to get into the shower and you don't want to take your watch off, just put that on. And then when you come out, do your dial, and then it'll empty out any water.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So,
I wondered how they did that, and I believe they used the speakers to they start vibrating the speakers to actually push the water out of the watch.
Huh. But it's great. It does a very accurate count of your laps and your strokes. I used it when we were at the beach last year, and it knew I was, just swimming in open water in the ocean, and the salt didn't bother it. It's good to go.
wow. Another thing, Tim, is if you're doing any kind of diet management, like I was doing Diet of Hope for quite a while, and they want you to keep track of your carbs and protein. There's 3 things: protein, carbs, I forget.
Probably
Anyway,
sugar.
yeah, and so I use my Fitness Pal. I know somebody uses a different one. I use my Fitness Pal, and it connects with your watch, your phone, and all that, and it keeps track of your steps and your nutrition information, and you can customize it for whatever it is you need. Like Diet of Hope, they want you to do a certain percentage of protein, certain percentage of carbs, certain percentage of I cannot remember what the third one is. But anyway, you can set it up to match up with whatever diet that you're trying to follow, and then it'll tell you if you are going over. So when I go to Diet of Hope, they were real dependent on that. They loved it that I was able to tell them, well, my carbs this month were this percentage. So that there's another one though too. I think maybe it's called Lose It.
I have Lose It. And
Yeah.
when I was trying to lose a couple pounds, it's great because you can just scan with your phone the UPC of the product that you're eating,
Yeah.
and then it puts the calories in, but it's also hooked up to all the exercise you've done. So it tells you how many calories you have for each meal and if you're getting close to being over. So, mine has in here that I cycled 95 minutes this morning and I did 16 minutes of swimming. So, it takes into account those extra calories that I burned. So,
right. So Lose It is very popular, and My Fitness Pal is really popular. And there's other ones also. I just switched to My Fitness Pal so that I could you can do congratulations with other people. Let's say my daughter is doing My Fitness Pal also, and then I can see, I'll get a notification. I don't have to get it, but we set it up that way, where if she lost a pound or whatever, or I lost a pound, or we could it's built in that you can do it with a buddy and congratulate them.
yeah, you can do that with the Apple Watch as well. You can share. I do that with my daughter and son-in-law. And every time they finish a workout, I get a notification. And when they close their rings for the day, and it has prearranged things that you can say back to them. And you just click it and it says, you're on fire, or way to go, or, and it's just a way to encourage them. But you can only do that from your watch.
Okay. And I think that, some people are not data people. My sister is not a data person. She just wants to kind of set up her own diet and take care of it herself, but she does not want to ever write it down. But I'm a data person and I like writing it down. And so I think you have to be a data person where you want to keep track of that kind of stuff, even with the steps. I like keeping track of my steps. It's just now it's just habit for us that we
Another place to find apps I found was WebMD. They have been around forever. I remember when they were one of the first just web-based MD things. And if you go to their mobile, type in WebMD on any of your mobile search engines, you're going to get tons of their recommended apps as well. They tend to be a little more technical and a little more newsy type stuff, but
I think they're pretty reliable. If I have a question about something that someone is doing, for instance, we just had a conversation with my brother about turmeric because he believes that turmeric has just changed his life. But we took turmeric and we felt like it didn't make any difference for us. You know, we're paying $35 a month for this stuff, and is it really even helping us? But so we've had some conversations like that where you can get information, and WebMD is a place that I trust, that I can go there and look and see what they say about that.
they've definitely been around a while.
I'm doing a health reporting about the COVID virus. I don't know how they even found me, but it's from Stanford Medical Center. And they asked if I wanted to participate in tracking my symptoms. And so I've been doing it ever since probably back in March I started. And basically they just send me a text every day and say, how are you feeling today compared to yesterday? And I say, same, because I've been the same every day. And then the next thing they say is, do you have any of these symptoms? And I say, no, I don't have any of those symptoms. And they ask you like only 3 or 4 questions and they say, thank you. And I don't have to think about it because they send me a text. Because they send me a text, then I remember to do it. It takes no time at all. It takes probably 1 minute. And it's just a text. And then it just goes back to them. You submit it and they say, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. So they're keeping track of data. And I think it's important. And if I can participate in that, I mean, I was just telling my husband yesterday, I would participate in that vaccine trial. Maybe some people don't want to do that, but if it was possible for me to do it, I would do it.
There are several studies that Apple has agreed to do, and you have to give them permission. But if you dig into that health app, they did a heart study over the last 2 years, and I didn't even remember getting in on it. And because they'll just take the data straight out of your health app once you allow them to, and they'll do their studies that way. So if you are interested in participating in the studies, if you dig around in that health app, Apple has, the last I remember, 2 or 3 that they're participating in. And then the last thing is, I don't know if any of you've used it, but I think the trend in medicine is going to head towards the integration of the hardware and the software. And back to where I started with the blood pressure monitoring, Omron is just a manufacturer. There's several, but they're kind of leaders right now, where you used to buy a blood pressure cuff, and it's not like the pricing's gone up, but once you get it, it will have that option to Bluetooth into your phone, and it will just, every time you take your blood pressure, it'll log it for you, and track it and keep it for you. Who was Bob asking me if you could do the EKG on your phone? You can't, but if you get one of these, and they run from 100 to 150 depending on the manufacturer. That's a 6-lead EKG. It takes about a minute. You just put it on your leg and put your fingers on the sides, and it'll do the same thing as a blood pressure blood pressure cuff, made by the same company. So a lot of these manufacturers are making their health devices to where we can track over a longer period of time. So I think that's probably where it's headed.
Well, that makes sense because right now, when I take my blood pressure monitor, I have to input it manually. I don't mind doing that. It's a really easy app to use. I don't mind doing it, but it sure would be great to have a monitor that connected. Here's an ad from Amazon. I'm just looking to see. You're saying that this Omron has one that.
But there's several, yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking. They're not a lot more expensive. Here's
They
one.
aren't.
No, because the one at Costco, you know, it's like $35 or $39. I can't remember exactly, but it's like right under 40. And these ones that connect, this Omron digital Bluetooth blood pressure is $47 and it's rated really high. So if you have to, if your doctor want, and don't they all right now at our age, they all want us keeping track of our blood pressure. Here's a wrist one from CareTouch that's only $19.99 and it has 10,000 reviews. So
I saw one on Apple yesterday too. I think Apple's partnered with well, here it is. It's if I'm still sharing my screen, it's that watch up there. They now have, just like your Apple Watch or your Fitbit, they have a blood pressure monitor.
oh, okay. So you wear it like a watch and it tracks your blood pressure.
It tracks your blood pressure, and I didn't even click into it to see what their price point is.
Okay, how many watches am I going to be wearing?
Exactly.
Liz has 2 of them. Liz has the Garmin and the Apple Watch. So
Well, I think what will happen, you'll probably see in 2 years that this company will be owned by Apple, and they'll be in their latest version of the Apple Watch too. So,
probably, yes. That's very cool. I'll have to look at that.
Okay.
it will be different in a couple years, I'm sure. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
Is there anything that people have questions about that we haven't talked about? Because you may have different, like Liz brought in some interesting things about keeping track of your steps. What else? Anybody else have anything that they're interested in that they wish they could do, or they have done, or they need to do?
is anyone or know of anyone who's tracking their diabetes with any kind of tech? Because that was one I was hoping to ask Lorraine about, because she's heading down that road. But I know there are a lot of apps that are starting to track that as well in that.
Well, if like they're pushing these sensors that you now just stick on your skin and it keeps track of your blood sugar all the time, you'd think that that would be an easy Bluetooth connection to a phone.
You would think, and I wouldn't doubt, but what it's out there, I was just curious if anybody had more information than I do. But please email me any suggestions you have of things that have worked for you, and I'll get them in the newsletter. I don't think we'll be having another general meeting until the middle of September. whether it's Zoom or whether we'll be back meeting, who knows? But month and a half away.
Tim,
Yes, Stanley?
can I ask you a question on the registration of the pool use? I was finally able to do it in the last 2 weeks myself, and it was working out fine. But I found out that certain time slots, it'll say 23 out of 23 filled. But then when you count the number of people in that time slot, it's only 21, which means you could have fit 2 more people in there in that time slot. So what is the problem with that?
That's a new one on me. I haven't heard that. And I haven't counted lately, and what few entries I'm making anymore are usually on lower use time. So you might call the front desk. I honestly just can't tell you what's happening there.
Okay,
I know there's been a lot of debate, and I believe me, I have a lot of it makes sense, but they're in a tough position down there, the board trying to get that figured out. So
Well,
I guess
there's been some conversation on United for Sunflower about people accidentally signing up twice, and then it doesn't get taken off. And
Well,
so there
I'm
are
looking,
some,
I'm looking at the thing right now, and there's a couple people, the 21 of 23 slots taken, and there's a couple women who are listed twice. And the other day, a woman had put her name in there 5 times. So it's user error. I don't think it's anything to do with the front desk or.
I haven't tried to do it because I'm not even there, but it does seem like from people I've talked to, it's easy to make that mistake and not realize that you've already signed in. And so then it's keeping people from being able to go. And if only people or 5 people are signed up, it seems like you should be able to pick up a second slot. I think that's some of what people are talking about.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's 21 of 23 slots, and I counted it, and it's 21 people. It's not less than that. But like I said, there are a couple duplications there. And Kathy keeps talking about that, and I mentioned something to my neighbor because she had written in there, canceling Saturday, it's too crowded, we're going Sunday. I said, that does nothing. It's just taking up a slot unless you go in there and delete it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And I
How do-
think
how
that
do you delete it?
when you get your confirmation,
Right.
you can go in there and then it says edit. It says edit my sign up because it says, thank you, you've signed up for this. And then it says underneath the view the sign up, it says edit my sign up. And you just click on that. It takes you back in there and you can cancel it or change the time. And then that'll take your name out of there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure how the front desk is monitoring it. I know, boy, that first week they were on top of it. Somebody did it twice, but lately, I don't know. I haven't, like I say, I haven't been on it much myself. So.
Well, the woman that had signed up 5 different slots, when I looked at a couple hours later, it was only once on there. So somebody's
probably
looking,
cleaned it up.
or they told her about it, how to, delete their name. And it looks like the people who were putting 2 in parentheses, they're not doing that anymore because they were signing up husband and wife. So then there were more people than there should have been because they,
Okay.
it only had 1 slot, but
you have to sign up separate.
yes, each person.
Yeah.
And the thing about only doing 5 per week, there is a workaround. If you sign up day of, then you can get in the 6th and 7th time of the week. So if you look and see, I want to swim at 9 o'clock and there's only 9 people there, and it's 5 after 9, you can go in there and it's not going to kick you off.
Oh, okay.
So that way the pool is not empty, you know.
They had talked about that. I didn't know if they had implemented.
It worked for me because I did my 6th one on one day last week when it was either Saturday or Sunday.
Good for you.
So I had my 5 in already, but it was already after the time and there were only 9 people. So I just go swim laps for 15 minutes. So it's not like I'm taking up, you know, a big time slot.
Any suggestions for topics going forward, next meeting? Not all at once.
I have to think about it and get back to you. I can't think of anything right now.
Okay. I'm thinking of trying to get our buddy Patrick back to start off the new snowbird year anyway. We'll see if he's available.
Well, thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate you getting this going.
Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you learned something. We'll get a little something written up and out in the newsletter here in a few days. And
Okay.
Yup,
Enjoy your
yup.
time in California, Nita.
Oh,
Yes.
we are. It's wonderful.
I bet. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
take care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, so Tim, am I staying on here or am I just
Please.
calling?
Please, if you got to say, hey, Harry, tomorrow morning
How's that? Say again.
at my house.
I'll be there.
All right. Thanks, Harry. See you, Bob. Thanks for joining.
My pleasure.
Okay, bailing out. Beep. Up. 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 Meeting's over.
I'm back.
All right. Thank you for hanging around and thank you for helping me. You and Liz saved me.
Oh, that was a good meeting. That was good.
Good. Well, thank you. I like tutoring. Teaching probably isn't my